Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I am your girl, Divina, and I am so grateful that you decided to tune into this episode. Before we start tonight, I just me and my announcements I've been starting to do. So just make sure you are liking this video, sharing this video, following Divinely Crown on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Also make sure you are subscribed to Divinely Crown Conversations podcast on Spotify and Apple, as well as checking out divinelycrown.com. As you guys know, I am a confidence life coach and have been taking new clients. So if you are interested in confidence life coaching, make sure you go on the website and book a connect conversation with me. I am doing my summer sale right now of 5 sessions for $400, and that will be ending soon. So make sure if you are interested in, getting a little deal, that you check your girl out before the time is up. And I also have some other exciting things getting ready to be announced here in the coming week. So make sure you're tuned in and following Divinely Crowned so you can keep up with all the great things that are in store for Divinely Crowned, the queendom. Okay. So tonight I'm excited to have yet another divine guest. So just make sure, like I said, you're sharing, liking this video, sharing. You know how I do in the comments, comment, talk to us. We'll talk back. So without further ado, I am going to bring my divine guest on the screen. Hello. So yes, tonight my divine guest is Ashley. And so I'm going to have Ashley just introduce herself, just a quick little introduction to who you are, Ashley.
I'm Ashley. Shit, I don't know. This is my first time doing a podcast.
Yes, this is her first one, so I'm excited. And this is Abby, her beautiful daughter, which I'm excited to have her on. For those who are watching, for those who will listen later, Abby is on the screen with Ashley, so I'm so excited to have her little cute self. I just told Ashley before, she's like a little baby celebrity. I follow her and I've been following her journey, so I love having her on here. So, but yeah, so I always like to tell, how I know my divine guest. So Ashley and I actually went to high school together at Strong Vincent High School. It is no longer a high school anymore. It's actually a middle school, which is crazy. But I just feel like we've always connected on social media. I've always kept up with you. And more recently, I've kept up with you even more. And so I was like, I definitely want to highlight Ashley and get her on the podcast. So so that's how we are connected. So Ashley, let's get into this conversation. So, Divinely Crowned Conversations all about having real, honest, open, and transparent conversations about the everyday journey of women building our queendoms, which is our life. So I always talk about where we come from, where we're at, and where we're going. So take me back to young Ashley. Tell me what young Ashley in her world was like.
Young Ashley. Young Ashley was wild. Yeah. I grew up in Syracuse.
Okay.
I moved to Erie when I was in high school with my grandmother.
Oh.
So I'm not originally from Erie, but
Okay.
I came there in the 10th grade and I went to Vincent. It was a hard transition because I didn't know no one at that school. I had tons of family there, but it was hard going there. The girls didn't like me, but
I did.
yeah, you did. But it was, I like Erie.
Yeah.
It's definitely a city where you could build yourself. Wouldn't move back though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I wouldn't advise it.
you build yourself and you move on.
Wow.
But,
yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, hun.
Yeah. So young Ashley, made a lot of mistakes. Learned from her mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was hard growing up, but you live and you learn.
You live and you learn. That
You
is
live
so
and you
true.
learn. You live and
Yeah.
you learn.
Yeah, and I do feel like that's part of the journey to even say like, listen, we were young and listen, I feel like we're
Mm-hmm.
still learning now. We're in our 30s and still learning and living and learning, and life is definitely a journey. So, listen,
Yes.
sometimes we make decisions that are like, dang, like, but it is part of
Mm-hmm.
the journey. So, I didn't first of all, I didn't know that you weren't born and raised in Erie. So,
Nope.
tell me
It wasn't
about
born.
so you said Syracuse is where you were at before?
Mm-hmm. Syracuse.
Okay.
That's where I'm in currently too.
Oh,
Syracuse, New York.
okay. Okay. So tell me like what younger. So before you even moved to Erie, what was your upbringing or like your world like?
Um, we had. I mean, I grew up with my mom and my dad in the household with
Mhm,
two other siblings, a brother and a sister. I was the middle child. Um, grew up on the south side.
mhm.
You know, typical childhood.
For sure. For Listen.
Typical childhood. My
Yeah.
mom did everything she could for us. My dad did
Mhm,
too.
mhm, mhm.
Um, you know, it was a lot, but we got through every obstacle.
For sure, for sure. So when you were in Erie, how long were you here? So you were
I
here
was
and
in Erie
graduated.
for a year and a half.
Oh, wow. I did not
I used
realize.
to come honest in the summers to
Okay,
visit my grandmother when I was
okay,
younger.
okay,
Um, but then I came there in high school.
okay, okay. So, like, I know you said, like, kind of like challenging when it comes to like even women,
Mhm.
like with dealing with other women. And I know that that's something with even young girls now. I feel like it might be even worse, right? Like now with,
I feel like the era is so much of everybody want to be a mean girl, and
yeah.
it's
So, yeah,
you know,
go ahead.
and it shouldn't be like that.
Hmm.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
shouldn't. And it makes it hard for women and even young girls in school. Like,
Hmm.
there's no reason to be that way.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, I guess I want to ask because divinely crowned. That's all I'm definitely we're about women encouragement and empowerment and things like that. And
Mhm.
I will say, even like growing up, I was like. Was connected to a lot of people, but there were a lot of there was
Yeah.
girls that wanted to fight me and my sisters. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like so many things. So like tell me maybe for maybe young girls that are watching, like what advice would you give those girls that might go through dealing with mean girls?
Ignore it.
Ignore it.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Don't try to fit in
Yeah.
because there's way more to it. And
Yeah.
most of the mean girls they ain't doing much with their life anyways. You know.
Yeah. That's kind of
So
how it is too. It's like the ones that they say the popular ones end up like, oh my
yeah.
God. And then the ones that like,
Mhm.
went through some rough stuff end up coming out,
Right. It
pretty.
doesn't pay to be nasty.
No, it does not at
And
all.
I'm
I feel
sure
like
it's
there's
hard being in school these days too because the girls it's just a different era.
mhm.
Every era is different
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's getting worse and worse.
I know, and it's so heartbreaking, which is why I know for like I want to get like connected with those younger girls because I do feel like we need that. So do you feel like there was any like maybe adults that kind of helped with maneuvering like through those situations for you or whatever you went through? No?
Mm-mm.
So,
Nope.
what do you feel like maybe what would you tell adults that what would you tell adults? Because I feel like right now that's a big thing even within our city is we need more adult leaders that are
Right.
going
We
to
do. We do need more leaders.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of adults try to fit in with the younger girls
Hmm.
and can't fit in with the younger girls. Like
Mhm.
you need to be a bigger role model to these
Mhm.
girls.
Mhm. Mhm. So what would be some advice you would give besides that, but like some advice you would give? Like if you could change one thing maybe about our current trajectory of young women, what would you change? Especially as you have a daughter.
Social media.
Social media.
Social media. Social media is the number one platform and is horrible.
Yeah.
These girls look on Facebook and Instagram and they feel like this is how I gotta be. This is what I gotta dress like. This is how I gotta have my hair. And it's just like the little girl that's viral right now wearing a wig. Like, why is a little 6-year-old wearing a wig?
I saw that. Yeah, no, I saw that. So it's almost like you gotta find what works for you outside of what society says, almost because society and social media plays a big role in influence nowadays.
You get online, you post a picture, you post a status, you close your phone, you close your computer, and it's back to reality. So it's like social media is real.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. So you moved back to Sandusky, and I know you have
Syracuse.
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 You know what? Going to Sandusky this weekend. We're going there for Kalahari, so I'm sorry. Yes, Syracuse. So you moved back to Syracuse. Like, tell me. So
I moved back to Syracuse. Yep, I had my son. I dropped out of high school. Actually, got my GED.
Okay.
I got into CNA for a while. I've been there at the same job for 16 years.
Wow, girl.
Yeah, that's hard. Awesome. But I love consistency. We Libras. We like consistency.
Yes, we do. Sometimes
I've been to other places, but it's like you get comfortable where you at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it takes this, but I mean, I do, like, I always say, like, those type of careers, it does take special people to do that. Because I know that for me, I am the queasiest. Like, my mom goes, I don't know how you had 2 kids. Because you're so, like, I would not be built for that. But to know that you've been committed to that for 16 years, like, that is a huge accomplishment. So, like, take me through. So you were a young mom?
Yep, I had my son at 18.
Okay. So tell me, like, how that was growing up as a young mom, because I know that's a big thing too.
It was a flash. I would tell everyone, like, I don't remember my son doing this and that. Like, at 30, having a baby at 18 versus 30, what was I, 31 with her? It's a difference. It's a big difference. I had a patience with my son, but I wasn't tired. Having a baby in your 30s, you're tired.
I heard.
You're tired.
I heard.
You're tired. You have more patience, but you want your sleep. You want your sleep, and I would not recommend people to have kids 13 years apart.
Woo! Yeah, that's like a whole. Everything's different, Ashley.
Everything's different.
When my kids are 10 and 8, and even just down to baby shower stuff. Like, when I was having my babies, it was just get your stuff from Party City, call it a day, get your little mints, everything. Now it's like all these new, and it was like right after I had my kids, all these new things, like, and even just like you said, like, I know that people say your body's different. Yes. Like, people like in your 30s having a baby. So I'm glad I have my babies in 20s, because
so people be like, oh, I'm gonna wait till 30. I'll be like, I don't recommend. I don't. Have them babies in your 20s. If you don't want them, don't have them.
That might be a word for somebody struggling. No, I definitely I've heard many women share that your body's different, like your patience, everything is different when
everything is different.
Yes. So, like, what do you feel like is like the most, first of all, that's crazy, but at the same time, I have an aunt who had her kids were 20 years apart. Like, my cousin was 21 and she was having another baby. So like what kind of differences do you feel like you saw having children that far apart?
I don't know. Your body, yes, like you said, your body hurts more.
Mm-hmm.
You just embrace it better. Like
Mm,
at 18, I was 18, I was excited to have a baby, but at the same
mm,
time, I didn't know how to be a parent either. So your
yeah.
first one, they grow with you, they learn with you. Your second
Mm-hmm.
one, you know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I totally agree with
yeah,
that. You know how to do a little bit more. Gosh darn it.
yeah.
Cause it's like the
It's
first child is you
not
walk
the book,
in
right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that
Go
first
with the
child is
flow.
grow. Yeah. It's more like, okay, don't touch this child, anything. And then your second is like, okay, like it's
Right.
always that commercial that I see. It's like the mom first, she was giving everybody hand sanitizer with the first baby, and the second baby,
Right.
she had him at the gas station or the gas station or whatever, and giving the baby to the man.
And you know
So,
what's new these days is
mhm.
I don't understand. Like back when I had my son, or back when when autism wasn't like such a big thing,
Oh,
and now
that's
it's like it's very very big. Like, and I feel like it wasn't talked enough back then, and what it is now.
yes. I've actually had this
And it's crazy because it's like a lot of kids has autism.
Mhm. Mhm. That is so true. Hold on. I have
Yeah.
Shay Page in the comments. She said, "Hey, Abby."
Hey.
So yeah, so you
Yeah.
so do your one of your children have autism?
So
Oh, you're
as her
breaking up a little
diagnosis
bit.
is, as far as I know, can you hear me?
A little bit. Let me just you were good and now it's getting it's a little spotty. Try to you can try.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
All right, go ahead. Yep.
But no, Abby's diagnosis is she has congenital heart defect. Um,
Okay.
she has respiratory issues and she has a liver disease. So
Okay.
but she's a little delayed in everything because she was in the hospital for a year.
Yes, yes.
So
Do you wanna
we
take
go
me? Because
behind
that's
a
kinda
while.
that's that's definitely, something I mean, I've definitely have followed kinda that journey through social media with
Mhm.
you. Would you like to, share about that journey a little bit?
Yeah. So when I was pregnant with her at our what is it, 20-week full anatomy
Mhm.
scan. I think that's when they
Okay.
do the full anatomy. Um, they checked all her organs and stuff, and they told me, one side of her heart is bigger than the other, and I'm just like, oh,
Hmm.
what do you mean by that? And they sent me to a cardiologist, which they had to look at her heart through my stomach, and
Mhm.
they told me like she has TAPVR. That's her TAPVR. That's her
Okay.
diagnosis. Was where one side of the heart is bigger than the other.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
originally, I delivered in Rochester. Um, I had a regular birth. It was beautiful. I was able to watch her come out with a big mirror. It was
Oh,
the easiest birth I
girl.
ever gave. I only had two
Wow.
push-ins. She was out.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So she didn't have to have surgery at birth. Um, she was in the NICU for a good 24 hours, and then she went to the
Mhm.
PICU. She went
Okay.
home after 3 days. So when we got home, she was fine. We was home for 9 days in Syracuse, and
Mhm.
she started to have respiratory issues, and she started to be jaundiced. They
Okay.
checked her liver numbers. Her bilirubin was high. And they sent her right back to Rochester. Um, so first surgery she had to have on her liver because technically if you don't have a liver you can't have other surgeries. Your liver not
Mm.
good.
Mm.
Um, her heart wasn't the issue at the time. It was her liver and her her airways. So we tried to intubate her twice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want her to get a trach. Like, I'm like, oh my God, how? I'm like, I don't think I'm responsible. And I don't think I'm strong enough to handle a baby with a trach. And I'm like, it's scary. I'm like, a tracheostomy. What do you tell? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm a sick mom. It's just me. So it's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I had a really, really good nurse that, told me this is what's best for her. So I started doing my research, getting on all types of Facebook groups, TikTok, looking at all these trach babies and stuff. Actually, her year anniversary for her trach surgery is actually coming up next week.
Oh, okay.
And it'll be a year since she had her. Yep, it'll be a year since she had trach, and she's stride. She's doing so much better because, like, you have a baby that's intubated, you can't hold on, you can't move them how you want because they got the tube down their throat. It was like once she got off of that and had her trach, it was over, like nonstop holding. I was able to do so much things with her, clothe her, and she still was in the hospital. So we were supposed to come home last August after she got hurt, but she still was having these brief episodes where she would desat, her oxygen level would drop. So they told me about this airway program in Michigan. Well, this airway program in Michigan, they only do it in Michigan, and I want to say they just started doing it in Atlanta. But the man that came up with the program, he's in Michigan. So what they do is they put airway splint on the outside wall of her airway, and they'll grow with her and dissolve on its own. So we went to Michigan in January, and she had her airway surgery, fixed her heart, she had open heart surgery also. And we stayed there for 69 days. Came back to Syracuse, and we came home June 1st. So she was in the hospital for 364 days.
Wow.
And it was a long journey.
I can imagine. First of all, thank you for being transparent and vulnerable enough to even share that journey, even that little piece of your long journey, for sure, because I commend you. And you something stuck out to me that you said. You're like, I don't know if I'm strong enough for this, like to do this, or to have a baby with a trach. So like, do you, first of all, clearly you are queen. Okay, you are strong enough for this, and I applaud you for that. So tell me, maybe, what has this journey taught you about yourself? Have you even thought of it?
I can overcome anything.
Period.
I'm strong. You have to tune everything out, everything, anyone that you got going on, and focus on just your kids. Because if you don't, it will break you. It will break. If you're not good for yourself, you're not good for your kids. And the kids deserve a happy mom.
Yes. Wow. So like, do you know like how many babies, because you said you're in like TikTok groups and support groups, like, is this something that is common?
So many. Yes, it's so many trach babies. Which
really,
before I had Abby, I would never had, like, you never see them. They, I don't know if they're like, I don't want to speak for no one, but it's just like they don't, they don't do things with these kids, and it's just like they able to do everything a normal baby can. Everything.
I love it. Yeah, I listen, when I tell you I be following, I'm like, Abby, you are my niece at this point, because I be following everything, and you just, even when you finally get to the hospital, like, when was that you left? When you finally brought her home?
June 1st.
June 1st. So tell me how that feeling was. How was that for you?
Oh, it was a beautiful feeling. I was nervous. But I was ready. I was scared.
But
I was ready for her to come out of the hospital.
Yes, yes, and she looks like she's doing so good. I
Yes.
appreciate you even, like, just sharing even on social media, like, has that, like so we talked about even earlier how, social media can be a negative thing, but, like, has social media kind of helped you with
Social media
support?
have helped me. Yep.
Yes, yes, yes,
I've had
that's
so many people reach out, and they tell me, just seeing her makes their day good,
yeah,
And I
yeah,
share her not for attention, not for sympathy. It's just that's just how I'm an open person.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm very, very open about my life, about things. I've had,
yeah,
I'm person, but at the most part with her situation, I was open with it because a lot of people don't story, don't share their
mhm,
journey, and
mhm,
it's just like, why not?
mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I think these types of things we should be aware of. And knowing that
Mm-hmm.
this is something that, like you said, there's so many trach babies and you didn't even know until you had this
Mm-hmm.
experience. And now you're able to share and make people more aware and also share these inspiring journeys. Like I told you, I was like, I'm just so inspired. Like she makes my day seeing her little face, like watching you overcome things and watching how you're now
Mm-hmm.
school for this right now? Are you in school?
I'm going to respiratory therapy.
Look at that.
Yep.
Everything happens for a reason. Hold on. I have Montrese said, "Oh, she's beautiful."
Thank you.
um, so okay, so I'm assuming that because of, your experience, now you want to now go into school
Mm-hmm.
and be able to help with
So yeah,
this.
I
So
was going to do this.
you were already going to do this? Can you hear me?
No, so originally, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. So originally, I was gonna go back to school for nursing, and I'm just
Okay.
like, I'm really, really good with traits, and I know all the respiratory stuff. So I was like, why not?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
more to it than just airway. You can do ECMO. You can do work with neonatal and with the preemies, all types of things.
Mhm.
And it's like respiratory therapy is not common. Like a lot of people don't do it, and they're very needed.
Mm. So, okay. So speaking of like being very needed, like and I know school's getting ready to start. You said you're going back to school.
Mhm.
Like, is there anything that you would share with somebody who might be thinking about going into that field?
Well, I don't know much about the field yet, but just do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
wait.
do it.
I know a lot of people wait for the perfect time. You can't. You just got to go to school. You just got to
Mhm.
go. There's never going to be a perfect time.
No, not at all. There's not gonna be a perfect time to do anything. Start a business,
Mm-hmm.
become a mom. Like
Yep.
I know people always like it's so funny growing up and hearing even people say like, I want to have this in order before I have kids, and that's
Yep.
great. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you never like you can have the most money, you can
Yeah.
have the biggest plan or whatever. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen different like I'm a mom, I'm a single mama too. But I always tell my
Yep.
people my children were like best unplanned decisions I made.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't prepared and I've come far. But I also
Right.
know people that are prepared, married, have a great
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Are like, I didn't know that this was gonna be like this. So it's like you never know. You never know
Right.
what's gonna end up happening along the journey of being a mother. And you've learned, I'm sure, so much about yourself and
Mm-hmm.
even having your son who is how old's your son then?
14.
14. Oh, so how is that with him and having a little sister? I did see
He
the
don't
picture.
pay us no mind.
He's like,
He'll play with her for a good. He'll play with her for a good 2 seconds and go up to his room.
Liz,
Mm-hmm.
he's like,
But
I'm
he's a big
grown.
help.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good. That's good. So what has even single motherhood taught you just on this
Woo!
journey?
Single mother. Boy, us single mothers, we could do anything. Can't nothing
Anything.
stop us.
No,
Can't
can't
nothing
stop,
stop
won't
us.
stop.
Mhm. No.
Yes. So So
being
you,
a
so
single
like,
mom, it's not that bad. Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. We're kind of delayed. So go ahead, hon. I'm sorry.
No, you could go ahead. I ain't say
Oh,
nothing.
no, yeah, being a single mom is definitely a powerful thing. Like I don't take I'm not taking away from the mothers that, have that support. And I
Right.
know I have support. I'm not sure like what your
Mhm.
support system is, but like being a mom that like, everything is on you, like it definitely, I know for me, has
Right.
made me realize things about me that I didn't even know. Like I didn't even expect to know. So um it's definitely a reward in
Mhm.
being a single mother. So she is adorable. Hi, Abby. So you were talking
Thank
about
you.
even the
Yeah,
autism
it's a
thing.
lot.
Yeah, for sure. So you were talking about the being
Yes.
even autistic and that journey. And so I'm like, yeah, I was
Mhm.
just talking to my sister about that. And I think even us not realizing how many different um
Yep.
mental health things go on with children, and we
Mhm.
learn as we grow, but like it
Yep.
definitely has opened my eyes to a lot of things when
Mhm.
it comes to children with autism. So do you have any experience with
Yeah.
that, or you were just saying like, you never knew about
No, I
um
know. No, I've my one of my good friends, one of her children is
mhm,
I know I have family members that has kids with autism,
mhm,
and it's
mhm,
just like it's not talked about enough,
mhm,
and I
mhm.
feel like people need to be aware.
Mhm, mhm. So what do you feel like you've learned about that? Because I had one of my guests actually, her son I've actually had two guests that their children were autistic, and I always tell people like autistic people, I'm like, they're actually geniuses. Like they're the
They are.
ones like,
I said
yes,
recently. I said I wonder if we are the weird ones,
we're
and they are the
listen,
smart
we're one
ones
of the ones
because.
that
Mhm.
yep.
But I said, even if you took the test, they'll be saying we a little autistic too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yes. So like I said, what do you feel like, you've learned that maybe you would wish like you would like other people to maybe be aware about?
Patience,
Patience.
patience, especially when
Mhm.
in public, you know,
Mhm.
you have to be mindful of
Mhm.
people, and, you just
Mhm.
have to, especially
Mhm.
with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to show your kids like everyone is different.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
when we were at, I took my daughter to the pool and there were little girls there, they was asking, about her trach and stuff. And they were really, really like good. You could tell that
Mhm.
their mom raised them really, really great because
Yeah.
they were so concerned
Yeah. Yeah.
and they weren't just staring. You know how kids just stare like, oh, what's that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Just asking a lot of questions. And one, she was like, well, will she ever outgrow it? I'm like, well, wow, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, she will eventually.
Yes. So yeah, I believe I saw you post about that as well with she may possibly be able to get surgery.
So with the trach, yes, it will eventually come out, but it's on
Okay.
her own time once her
On
airways
her
get
own time.
stronger.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, I'm always proud. I'm like, every time I see you post, like maybe it comes out, I'm like, Lord, just touch
Mhm.
her. Listen, Abby, she's got a testimony. She's going to
Yes,
change
she
the
will.
world. She's going to
Yes.
listen, and she is such a light about her. So I just love even watching you. Like I know we don't know each other personally, but like
Right.
even just how you post, like you can see the growth in you,
Mhm.
and it's been beautiful to watch. We like you said,
Thank you.
we're Libra women.
Mhm. Yep.
Yes, Libra women. So like tell me, are you big into like, or because I'm like, I say it, but like I don't always like, I don't follow everything, but like, is that something you're big into with your
I'm
like,
not big into it, but I follow it.
follow it a lot?
I do. But you can't be Christian and follow horoscopes. So it's like, you know.
I do know, I do, and that's literally how it's like, because honestly, there is a lot of like things I read. I'm like, this is me to a T.
Yeah.
And I do feel like, God gives us miracles, signs,
Right.
wonders, like those signs, and it's just like, oh yeah, and He did create the heavens and the earth, so. But he created the universe, but it's definitely interesting to see even how you like how I see like how you are, and I'm like, oh yeah, she a Libra.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
talking about being a Christian, so is that your faith?
Yes.
Okay, so like how is, because I know I always, people know on this podcast when you listen, like I'm a Christian woman. I love my faith. So how has that even helped you through your journey, just like with
A lot.
being,
A lot.
yeah,
It helped me a lot.
yeah,
I'm the type of person where, I stress. Don't get me wrong, I stress a lot. But I know that God got me. I done
yeah,
overcame so many things,
yes,
and it helps.
yes.
Prayer helps.
Prayer, definitely. There is so much power in prayer. And listen, I stress too, honey. Okay. It's been stressful week already. I'm like, Lord, you're gonna have to guide and direct. And I love that our faith, like we can lean on Him for that and know that I mean, listen, like I'm sure you like, listen, God has been there for us through this journey. And I
That's
do
too
believe
bad.
He's gonna take you guys even farther. I have Tater, Cooley. She said, "Let's go, Team Abby, girl. You have listen, Abby. I'm
Hey.
these shirts. You go have to see this. It's just she has so much personality. For those who are gonna listen to this later, you guys are gonna have to like catch the replay on YouTube or my Facebook, because you have to see Abby. She is just such a light and has so much personality. You can tell. Look at her little face. So I always like to ask a few questions, particular questions. And, we've been talking about this journey. And I also want to say my first question, you are very into fashion. I believe you used to
Yes.
do hair, right?
I still do it here and there. Yeah.
Okay, so you're into fashion and into hair. So I
Yeah.
always, Divinely Crowned is all about, confidence and self-love. And I do faith, lifestyle, and fashion. So like, tell me for you, I always she listen, I hear you, girl. So my first question always is, what does confidence look like to you?
Mm. Whew, I need my hair done. I need a nice outfit. I said, I don't care if I'm sitting in my living room. I need my lashes done. If my lashes not done and my hair not done, baby, my confidence ain't there.
Oh wow! Listen, I get that for sure though, because I be a little like, even now with my hair, I'm like, I need this done a little bit.
Right.
So listen, and I get that. Like they always say, like, if you look good, you feel
Yep,
good.
you feel good. Definitely. And that's true. If you look good, you feel good.
Yes. So
And
do you
it don't even be for others, it'd be for yourself.
I was just gonna ask, like, so do you feel like, because I know some people do it for other people, but for you, you're like, listen, I do this for myself. Yes. And I
people
listen.
ask, like, what do you like to do? I like to get dressed up and I like to go outside, and I just like to be free.
Yes.
Go get some drinks, go out to eat. I don't really party too much, but I like to look good and I like to go outside.
Yes.
Show myself. And I love compliments.
Yes. Listen, compliment. It's a good thing to have compliments. I mean, you can be secure in yourself and still love compliments. Who doesn't want to like be poured into? And that's a way to be poured into, having those compliments. And listen, you be out here slaying, sis. So
Yeah.
Listen, you need the compliments. I got Taylor. She said, "Yes, cousin, start my baby cousin a line already." Because I said, get that merch." She said, "We Abby strong out here, but no for real,
Thank you.
Ashley,
I love you.
girl. I pray for you and for you for you to keep your strength. Y'all gonna overcome this as
Love
you
you
are
too,
now.
guys.
Yes, yes, yes. I didn't know you guys were cousins. That's my cousin too.
Yep.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So the other question I always like to ask Ashley, with all your journey of what you've been through, I always like to ask this question. What would you tell young Ashley at the age you are now with everything you've been through in life? Like, what would you tell her?
What would I tell her?
Mhm.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I always
I
give
would
people
tell her, uh, don't stress. Everything will be okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. It's
Because I
we
love
some
my kids. I would
yeah.
never say not. I wouldn't want. No, I love my kids. My kids is my
Mhm.
journey. They my life.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would tell
Yeah.
myself to relax. Don't
Yeah.
stress.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you still feel like you still have to tell yourself that now? Because I know I do.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. If something happens, I be like, okay, this will pass. Relax.
Yes. 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 This too shall pass.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. And
And I
even
feel
with that,
like as
like,
adults, we should all have at least like, I don't know if you believe in like, therapy or
mhm,
anything, but I feel like as adults, as Black women, we do need
mhm.
that
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
cool talking to your friends, but it's not. It's different talking to others.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
that help.
Yeah. I totally agree. So yeah, I am very big, and I actually, that brings up, because I was gonna ask you that earlier, just with support and everything, because I can imagine,
Hmm.
you like, I can think of like postpartum through this last year probably for you, and just all the things as a woman you probably are going through, and asking like what that
Yeah.
support was like. You did go to therapy, or go to therapy?
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
actually just starting.
All right, congrats. I'm proud of you.
I
I'm
had my, yep. I didn't have time to do it while she was in
Mhm.
the hospital because I'm not
Mhm.
really a virtual person. I'm in
Mhm.
person type. I have to be in person. I can't sit in a room and talk to someone. That's just
Yeah.
not me. I can't. I don't. I want to get out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
stay put and talk to someone over a computer. So actually,
That's
I'm just now
braver than you.
starting. Um. hmm I'm just now starting, and I know it's gonna help me out a lot
Yes, it
because I
will.
still get
It
angry over our journey. I
Oh,
still
yeah.
feel like it's not fair, but
Mhm. Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
why it's good to go talk to someone and
Yeah.
versus sitting there complaining to your friends. They don't want to hear that all the time.
Sometimes they don't even know what to do, is the like,
No.
or they wanna fix it instead of
Hmm.
kinda allowing you to just be. So I
Yeah.
tell people, like, I am a huge advocate for, and people who listen to this know I'm a huge advocate for therapy, and getting that
Hmm.
mental support. I tell people, listen, I'm a whole confidence life coach, and I've been in therapy for almost maybe 6 years on and off,
That's
and
good.
I don't plan on stopping anytime
Mhm.
soon. Like you said, having that space. I don't like virtual either, so going into a place,
Right.
but being able to have that space outside of your family and friends
Mhm.
to get that support, is very, I think it's necessary. I feel like it's as necessary as going to the regular doctor,
It
to get
is.
that mental
It is.
support, and going to therapy. So I'm very happy for you being able to get that, because like you said, yes, women need that. Black women, where I
Yeah.
believe a lot of Black women are ending the stigma, because I know so many Black women that go now. I know a
Mhm.
lot of Black therapists, like,
Yeah.
so it's like we are breaking that for not just us, for our children
Mhm.
now. Like, we're breaking those generational curses of thinking that we can't tell how we feel. We got to keep it
Right.
on, So I
See,
definitely
and yep.
do.
as an adult, like I said, I'm very open. But as
Mhm.
a kid, I was never,
Mhm.
never.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's why I feel like, I voice myself a lot now because I didn't when I was younger, and
Yeah.
it built up so much anger, you know.
Yeah. 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 Well, and listen, there's never a time to not
Hmm.
change. So, and I feel
Right.
like I feel like we have so many more adult years than we have children years. So being
Yep.
able to now break free from that. And like I said, that is literally going to break generational curses off of your children. Like,
Hmm.
and that's a powerful thing to be
It
able to do
is.
that, like for sure. Because there's some people that will never be able to do that because it takes a strong person to admit that they need mental and emotional
Help.
support
Right.
help.
Yep.
So,
Hmm.
yes. I have she said, "Love y'all too." And we have Mariah. She said,
Hey,
"Amen."
Mariah.
Yes. So speaking of Mariah, and I know you do have a support system. So tell me, like your friends, I see your girls, some of them are from Erie. So like how
Hmm.
it has your support system bit like helped you
My
through your
support system has been great.
yeah.
Um, I can't complain.
Mhm.
Like, they've been there for me since day one. Her
Yeah.
God mom been there since day one. It's just, you know, I had to stop. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I had to stop focusing on the ones that wasn't and focus and pour into the ones that is there. And
Yeah.
because you can't control what other people do.
Yeah.
So my support system for me and Abby is great.
That's good. And I
Mhm.
love how you said that because I think sometimes I feel like I mean I can say the same like there's been times it's like you're not getting that support from the people that you really
You
want that
want.
you
Mhm.
forget that oh my
Yep.
god even though they're not but like you
Mhm.
said you have to pour into the ones that
Yep.
are and sometimes they're giving you more support than you might have ever got from the support you were looking for from
Even like strangers on social media,
them.
they've been
Mhm.
big supports for me and
Yeah.
Abby too. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, like we said, you might have to get some Abby merch. We can talk. I can guide you through how to get that drop shipping, girl. Print on demand. We're gonna have Abby on some on the face of a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But that no, I love how you said that, like that pain because we do. I think that happens so
Mhm.
much with
It
us,
does.
um, even bit like building a business or going like you said
Mhm.
going back to school. There's so many things. It's like wow, they're not supporting us, but then
Yep.
we like to take a step back. And it's like, but dang, the whole support system over here is pretty lit.
Yep.
So to
Yep.
be able to say that. So is there anything? Speaking of that, would you like to share maybe with your support, or is there anything you would like to say to your support system while you have this platform? Shout them to the rooftop.
I love y'all so much. Y'all don't understand from the
Yeah.
messages. Even like people message me,
Mm-hmm.
talking, stay strong. It helped me.
Yeah.
Like, I was in a very, very, very dark place.
Mm.
Sitting in that hospital is just like
Mm-hmm.
tunnel vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really thank everyone from
Mm-hmm.
like Cash Apps, the GoFundMe, the everything. Sending her teddy bears, making sure we ate. I ate. She ate. Making sure I ate. You know, I really appreciate everyone.
I love it. I love it.
I
Yes.
know. And then it was like, when I'm going through things, I do shut my family and friends out. So it was
Mm-hmm.
times where I didn't even answer my phone.
Mm.
I know that they were thinking like, well, why Ashley not answering? Why Ashley not keeping us updated? It's just
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes you gotta, you can't. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. Like you
Like, you
are.
miss every milestone. It just like I never knew what moms went through. I knew, I know about preemies and stuff. I never knew
Mhm.
how they felt until recently.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
miss milestones. You miss everything. What
Mm.
normal babies do, but
Mm.
once they home, you get to enjoy everything.
Everything. And make up for so much time and you like I said like watching you and seeing what you're already doing. I mean she's been home for what, about a month and a half now.
3 months.
3 months. Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
June
Oh my
1st.
God. Yeah, June. Dang. Time is, my
Mhm.
kids are about to start school next week.
Mhm.
I'm like, time literally has just flown by. But like
Yep.
seeing what you have done so far with her
Yeah.
and just how you're always out and about, like you said, you're like, I like to be outside, and like
Mhm.
just being able to make up for time. And listen,
And she
we
has
all,
great nurses, which
yeah.
I'm so thankful for because it's hard inviting people, strangers in your home.
Mhm.
And she has great day nurses, and I have 2 evening nurses. But I mean, no, I have days available. What? Sorry, I
It's
can't
okay.
talk right now. She has day nurses during the day, Monday
Uh-huh.
through Friday, and just 2 evenings. during the
Okay.
week. So it helps me because I could get things done and I could still go to work. And
Yes.
I trust them because they're really, really great.
Yes. That's awesome.
That was
That's
hard.
awesome that
Yeah.
you're able to even have that type of support from nurses and knowing that she's getting
Mhm.
the care she needs. So
Because I
I
was
al
like, I don't want nursing in my home. I don't want them, I don't want them in my house. But
yeah,
you need that because you still got to do things.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like you could just take her to your mom's house, like, here, watch it for a couple of days or a couple of hours.
yeah.
No. So it helps.
That's a blessing. That's surely a blessing. I wanna actually talk about, speaking of that, I saw your post about the Ronald McDonald House.
Hmm.
So tell me about, because I know that's a big thing. They're
Hmm.
all over.
They are.
So tell me, for those who obviously aren't on your
So,
social media.
yep. They are a house where your child is admitted to the hospital. Whether they're having surgery, they're sick. It's for families
Mhm.
from, you know, all over the world.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
you stay there. It's like a hotel room.
Okay.
They provide food. You could cook. You could bring your own food and cook. It's
Mhm.
very, very beautiful. And
Mm.
all the 2 houses that I've been to Michigan and Rochester, and it's a very safe place for families.
That's awesome.
And they provide a very comfortable space for moms and dads who have sick babies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and I've kind of heard similar, like I've think I know a few people that have had to go. I have a friend who's actually kind of not like kind of similar with being in the hospital for a long
Mhm.
time. Actually found out she was in the hospital longer than she was supposed to be in the hospital,
Mhm.
and a few other babies, but I know she like would mention how awesome they are. But I
Yep.
just think that's beautiful that they even have that space, because
Yep.
being in a hospital or having a child in the hospital for that long, you definitely want. And you talked about the cupcakes that
Yep.
kept you.
Because you don't want you sleep. You have your baby. You want to sleep there with your baby, but you also
Mhm.
need that space when you
Yeah.
at the end of the day you need to go. You need to let it all out.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. She's been so good. Listen, go ahead, Abby.
She's a
So
good baby.
yes. So I always like to leave the floor at the end for, or not floor. I always like to say like the royal mic. I'm gonna have to find a word, but the royal mic for
Mhm.
anything that maybe you wish I would have asked, or whatever you want to say that maybe I didn't touch on. Like, is there anything that you would like to share, or anything?
No, you touch bases with everything. You did great. I'm the one that's nervous.
Oh, listen, you did great for your first interview. Okay, you got to get prepared, because Abby gonna be having interviews, and she gonna be
Mhm.
like, okay, mom, what you got to say?
Right.
Look at her. Well, listen, I always like to give my flowers at the end. And I really want you to know, like, from even just watching you and following you, like, I'm so proud of you.
Thank
I'm so
you.
inspired by you,
Thank
Ashley. I just
you.
think that you are a very, like you said, a strong woman. And I know a lot of times we don't want to just be the strong, like being
Right.
strong is not fun. But I want to say you are a warrior, And I just commend you for this journey you've been on. I appreciate you sharing and being transparent and vulnerable enough to share your journey with your baby girl and your family
Thank
with
you.
the world. And I just hope that it just continues to inspire not just me, which I know it will, but you and even your son inspire us, but also inspire other people to even get involved. Is there anything that or any way that people can get involved in supporting Abby or like any foundations or anything that I can even put in the show notes?
No, I don't have any foundation yet, but I do want to start one for congenital heart defects,
Okay.
um, and trait babies.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna be sharing it, and then what I'll do is update. We'll do show notes, and then I'll update and put that in the show notes so that you guys can, support. Because like Ashley even said earlier, like we don't realize how many babies and
Mhm.
families go through this, and so we definitely want to make sure we're able to support,
Yeah.
along the journey, and even if it's just positive words to Ashley or prayers, just make sure you guys are sending her positive vibes because she deserves it.
Thank
So
you. But
you're welcome.
even if any single moms want to
Yeah.
reach out to me and ask me questions, and
Mm.
even if they need someone to talk to, I'm always
Yes.
available.
Yes, yes. I love it. Well, Ashley, I'm gonna click you off after I thank you so then I can once I end the broadcast we can chat real quick to close
Okay.
out. But I just want to thank you publicly for your willingness once again to be on and just sharing your journey with the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. And I just appreciate you very much for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So
Thank
I'll
you
click you
too.
off and then I will be right back.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. Thank you again to Ashley for being on tonight. Once again, remember to like this video, share this video. You can even comment later on and just show your love to my divine guests. Like I wanted to remind you, confidence coaching services are available, as well as just staying tuned to what Divinely Crown, Divinely. Oh my gosh. Divinely Crown has in store. But until next time, remember you are divinely crowned.